Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at some brand new fyreslayers. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Seek, Tame, Slay. The Vulkyn Flameseekers are a triple threat warband. The era of the beast has elevated monsters to new heights of savagery, as the rhythmic heartbeat of Gur thumps through the minds of predators and prey alike. This is a net win for the fyreslayers of the Lofnir Lodge, whose Magmadroth wards have become deadlier than ever. They now seek to spread their beliefs and grow their stables, dispatching lizard-wrangling Vulkyn Flameseeker warbands across the mortal realms. So we've got a brand new warband. Let's take a look here. So fyreslayers wouldn't have necessarily been my first choice for what warband I wanted, but these look really good. Definitely a big fan of the armor. Really, really nice sculpts. I mean, these are amazing compared to the current range. Okay, I was waiting for the scale of the, I don't know what you want to call him, little baby Magmadroth, a mini Magmadroth. Couldn't quite tell how big he was initially. Most fyreslayers firmly believe that Vulkatrix, the great god beast who slew their ancestor god Grimnir and merged with his essence to create Urgold, was a terrible beast utterly deserving of death, according to the ideology of the Lofnir Lodge. However, the long-dead Salamander is actually worthy of worship precisely because it felled their beloved father. Duardin believers will go to great lengths to recover and incubate a Magmadroth egg that formed when Grimnir and Vulkatrix's spirit scattered. The Vulkyn Flameseekers are the most ardent adherents of this creed, each an expert beastmaster, accompanied to battle by Kindledross, the adorable offspring of bigger magmic monsters. They also seek the scattered Vulkazar, sacred flames unleashed by Vulkatrix's death, infused with divine power. Some even claim that the flames can imbue Magmadroths with godly powers, like scales imbued with crackling azurite energy. So Kindledross is what they're calling it. Interesting. Alright, so let's talk about these sculpts here. So, pretty awesome. Definitely a big fan of these sculpts. Most of the Fyreslayer models are pretty freaking old and not that great. Most of the poses are super kind of two-dimensional. I do actually like the models and everything, but they are very dated, especially when you see them compared to these. Now, right off the bat, I'm also noticing a big change. One thing I really like about the Warcry Warbands is a lot of them have females. Now, I know for some people, they really don't care. I know for other people, they're offended by the fact that there would be male and female characters in the various warbands or armies. I think it's awesome. I am all about the diversity. I think it's great. In particular, one thing that is super appealing to me about it is I also play D&D. So having both male and female characters of all the different races, factions, different types of models is really freaking cool. And again, while some people might not care, for me, I want Warhammer to be as inclusive as possible. And we know from history and studies and everything that people relate to things that are familiar to them. So, if we want more dwarves or women in the hobby, probably a good idea to make dwarf and women miniatures. So definitely a big fan of these. I really don't understand the controversy either. I guess it's maybe that little childish kind of this is my hobby and I want to protect it. But I don't have that mentality at all. For me, it's the complete opposite. I'm this is super cool and everybody should play this. Here, look how awesome it is and join in. So I don't know, very, very strange. But anyway, that's my tangent. I absolutely love the models. I think they look great. Definitely a fan of all three of these. All right, and then here we see the little mini Droth. Very cool. I'm definitely a fan of these. This guy is cool. It is a little bit derpy, but it is also a baby. It's a pet, so obviously I want to own it and paint it up. I think it should be a little brighter inside the mouth, the heat is coming from the inside, but that's more of a paint job thing. All right, let's talk about this guy here. So right off the bat, super cool. Definitely love the look, the beard and everything with the pieces braided into it, the little belt buckle and everything, or should I say big belt buckle. But it is a little bit strange to me that they have a little pet Magmadroth. They're all about these things. They're going to collect the eggs so they could raise them up and infuse them with magical power. And then this dude is wearing around the carcass of one, which don't get me wrong, it looks super cool. But if you had a pet dog, would you wear a dog costume? So that does seem a little bit strange to me. Now we have seen weird design stuff from Games Workshop in the past. Seems a little bit insensitive, but I guess maybe this guy just doesn't really care. I don't know. So weird kind of design thing. Maybe it'll come up in the lore. Maybe he's just cosplaying. Very cool models though. Okay, and then we got a couple more pretty awesome looking guys right here. See, and here we see the beards and the skirts, so you can definitely get away with it. Or kilts, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure the exact term. And then I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. It looks like he has like a crazy whip, but I can't quite tell what the deal is with these. Now, I don't see anybody that's rocking like the flamethrower type thing. So maybe there's something going on here, or possibly I missed something. But very, very cool models. Definitely a big fan of these. These are absolutely awesome. And if you're a Fyreslayers player, if you have ever painted a Fyreslayer or even built one of the models, you can tell the vast difference between these brand new, awesome, amazing sculpts and the existing Fyreslayer range. So very, very nice. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. Each warband is led by a Vulkyn Runefather, adorned with the Drake motifs and armed with either a Drothvault Great Axe or shovel-like master-crafted boyz. Drothmasters are the Magmadroth's tamers, whose pauldrons are fitted with Magmadroth eggs and whose whips are forged from Magmadroth scales. Tools for bringing rampaging droths to heel. Okay, so in that description for a second, I thought they were talking about the guy who was like wearing the Magmadroth, but obviously they're talking about this guy. So very, very cool. Okay, so these are eggs right here on his pauldrons. So those are two little Magmadroth eggs. So very cool. Definitely an awesome model. I do like the little mini droth. As the maddening drumbeats of Gur thunders on, stirring up the fiery blood of the salamanders, many Magmadroths become too frenzied to tame or contain. It falls to the door Drothblood Thanes to put these unruly creatures down, with the help of the Scalebreakers and the rest of the warband. When such a killing occurs, the Magmadroth skin and scales are repurposed for cloaks and armor, allowing the Duardin to take on some of their legendary resilience, and venerating the scorching Saurians even in death. Okay, so there's some of the lore, kind of explains it. So this is the guy who's got to put him down when they get a little bit unruly. Definitely a big fan. This spear is awesome. I like the little like smoke coming out of the lantern hanging from his plume. These models are really nice. And of course that also explains why he's wearing around the pelt of a mini droth. So alright, we'll let it go. See, anytime the lore immediately explains a question I have, I'm okay with that. The hunt for holy flames and sizzling eggs sends the Vulkyn Flameseekers all over the mortal realms, including into the tormented heart of the Gnarlwood, where a vast menagerie of beasts congregate, hunted by savage vampires and starving ogres. Even with their hardened armor and fire-steel weapons, they'll have their work cut out for them trying to cultivate kindle droths and preventing their eggs from being poached. Alright, so very cool. They definitely have some cool lore behind them. We have obviously seen the kruleboyz snatching some eggs, and everything is kind of themed around the beasts. We have King Broad leading his big march. We also have the birth of King Trog and the trolls. So it makes sense that we're like kind of going after this whole like beast thing and beast theme. And I think now, after hearing the lore and knowing that although this guy was probably equally cute, that he was a little too ferocious and they did have to put him down. So I'm glad to see they've repurposed his hide. Man, I love these axes too because they look like they're made from like Magmadroth claws. There is a lot of detail and a lot of flavor in this warband, and I am a big fan. These are probably some of, if not the nicest dwarves we have seen coming out of Games Workshop, or pretty much anybody in a long time. These are really, really nice. I'm definitely a big fan. So let me know what you guys think down below. Obviously, there's still quite a few factions or like specific portions of a faction that haven't quite seen a warband yet. I know one that's really popular and I'm excited to see is Gloomspite Gitz. I'm sure you've got one at the top of your list as well. And no matter what we think is coming, there is always an awesome surprise in Warcry, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Definitely looking forward to seeing where the season goes. As always, let me know what you think down below. Are you excited about these guys? What do you think of the sculpts? Do you have a strong view one way or the other on the whole male and female dwarves? Should they have beards? Should they be at least a little bit distinguishable or completely indistinguishable? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15% on most Games Workshop products. Link in the description. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.